All right, let's do
All right, you gotta
this.
restart your stream.
I gotta restart the stream. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You see it?
Yep, we're all
Okay.
good.
I like that Kha'Zix. Did not get. Take a grace.
Yeah. Graves
So
Rod, I think, right? Cool.
yeah. Figure sword is probably the best thing, and I guess I think of Rod as second best. Well, not second best overall, but second best of tier Rod sword.
Yeah. Tier, I mean, tier is really only good if you go exactly freaking Sigs with 4 tiers. So
Yeah. Ooh, okay. Hodge Redemption.
those aren't like anything that like push you super hard in a direction, which is nice. Obviously,
Yeah.
Hodge is probably best on Kale, but that's not like that big of a deal.
Okay, Blaster.
Feeling lucky.
I didn't watch your socks video yet. I need to watch that.
Yeah, it's great.
It was really good. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really helpful. He beat me up, but it was good.
Yeah.
is what I needed to hear. Meh.
Like fish in a barrel.
These items. Maybe I can slam my Morellos if I don't get anything else.
This world will be the first step on my road to conquest.
Oh, is it by the pair here?
Yeah. Sorry, you would not buy the pair?
I said I always buy the pair here.
Yeah.
You haven't gotten. Oh yeah, you did get gold. You got dilution, so you're not guaranteed gold here. I would sell the Kate for the TF here simply because your items. Like the items favor a TF more than a Caitlyn.
Like you use mana items in general.
The Morella mostly, actually.
Morella. Oh, okay, so that would imply I sell the Grace potentially.
Right. I'm just saying, like in terms of like what you'd want a 2-star. Like if you hit TF2 and you hit Graves 2, then yeah.
That makes sense. Okay. Okay, so
what are you thinking?
I think for my items, I want to just slam my Morellos ASAP, and the best Morellos user I have is Graves.
Yeah.
And Hodge Lelution.
Yeah, that's fine. I wouldn't want to level here, and so I'm probably actually just running this as my comp.
Okay.
You can run a Malphite instead of a Graves if you want. Maybe it's more frontline.
Okay. Interesting. You don't think 2 Graves? Oh, actually, we should make use of this too.
The issue with like 2 Graves is not definitely not bad. The issue with 2 Graves is that they often just overlap their ult. But you're giving him mana, I guess. So.
I should have put Sword on Lucian actually. He was not very good on him.
Yeah, it's okay.
Nice.
I like 6 for sure.
Oh, you like Ziggs?
Yeah, I think Ziggs is great. You also have a tier, so. But just in general, I think Ziggs is one of the strongest one costs after the mana changes.
That makes sense. Okay.
He's definitely like the highest damage at 1 cost now.
I've definitely been sleeping on him. I only really buy him when I'm going for reroll, but that's not good.
I think a level here is reasonable.
Yeah.
You have to put in Cyber. Unfortunately, you put the tier though, so actually it's kind of awkward.
Yeah, I think I saw.
You could level and run in Vanguard instead if you wanted to.
Yeah.
It's pretty close. I would level here. Yeah, you can sell 6. Cool. Yeah. It's pretty close whether you ran Vanguard or Cyber.
I think there was an infiltrator back here when I scouted earlier.
This tier is gonna punish you or hurt you a lot, I think. But.
Yeah. Yeah, because I don't really have an out for this tier unless I get Saris or something on him, right?
I mean, I don't even necessarily like Seraph Solution, so like it's not bad, but it's like much even like if it was a Seraph Solution, I'd put that on Graves probably.
I'm not getting much redemption value. Maybe I shouldn't have put it on him. Keep this. Keep all these.
Yeah. There's a vibe, but you can't really run it right now, like reasonably.
Yeah. I mean, it's not going to cost me anything, so I'll pick it up. But that would have been strong cybers. Okay.
I don't think you should almost ever position like how you're doing with the Leona. You can you can position back like this, and that's fine. There's also you can kind of do like an S. It's hard for me to actually explain it here, but you can do an S, 2 units in the front line, 2 units on the second row with the Leona next to the. That's hard to explain. You know like the Vel'Koz spot?
Yeah, like right here, little pocket.
I can't see your mouse cursor actually.
Oh, okay. I guess
but,
like right here.
Yeah. You can put like your Leona there and your Lucian next to that, and then Poppy and Graves in front of your Lucian, and that works. Or you can do all the back row. Both of those work completely very well. And
do you think that's relatively safe versus infiltrators?
Yeah, I do.
Lucian? Interesting. Okay.
I mean, you also you typically want to be scouting around and seeing which side you want on, because it can be either side. It's not actually just the Vel'Koz spot, it can be on either side. So.
Okay, so we have spare sword and a sword here.
What do you think?
So, I mean, I don't really want to play around my tier. I'd probably just go for a glove generically or Deathblade.
Yeah, I'd go glove.
Yeah. Glove just being the scarce and good component. That's gone though. All right, of these, I think I just still take a tier then.
I wouldn't. I would take Negatron.
Really?
Honestly, yeah.
I should have taken that one.
If you get stuck with a bunch of tiers and you're not playing like Star Guardians or Ziggs, which you're not,
so you don't want an abundance of tiers.
Yeah. I mean, they're not gonna do anything. Maybe get a misfortune, but that's like way down the line. You're gonna be in a really bad spot.
So here, I think I level to play Cybers, right?
Yeah,
I've upgraded Cybers for sure. Okay. So, is this the positioning you meant, like this?
Yeah. I mean, you don't want to block your Leona in like that, but yeah, you can do that. And again, back row's fine as well. I don't think that your Vi 1 is stronger than Fiora 2.
Oh yeah, you're definitely not. You're definitely right.
You want to Negatron your Leona here, and then the sword would go on Fiora.
On the Fiora. So I want to keep the Vi.
Right.
Well,
right.
I might settle her for econ anyway, but it looks like we're gonna win this fight regardless.
You typically don't run Fiora in the late game. Like there's sometimes you run 6 cyber, but oftentimes if you're running cyber, it's 3 cyber. And so you can put items on Fiora pretty safely, because you never actually, if you run 3 cyber, you never run Fiora.
Yeah.
Leona and Vi, on the other hand, could actually be run late game.
We can sword her, right?
Yep.
Just for cybernetic trait. Let's see. Dotar, Goom, Sexy Donald, running 300. So Arius, Grillsy. Okay.
Pretty broke. You can make money though, right?
Yeah, I can. I'll sell these. I'll probably sell the Vi also.
Yep.
I think this positioning is okay. So interesting. So this is, you think?
At this point, I would swap your Fiora and your Leona.
Got it.
Your Fiora is tanking the right corner right now, and you prefer to have Leona tank that.
Got it. Okay. So even accounting for Blitz, you think it's better for? I guess most people are not going to be running Blitz, so you want
Fiora. Yeah. Most people aren't going to be running Blitz, so you don't want to like screw yourself against Blitz. Sorry, just for Blitz. But also like Fiora getting hooked isn't that bad. Like.
Yeah, she usually get a melt off.
Yeah, exactly.
So I feel like I've gotten very little out of the Graves Redemption. He's actually dying a lot more slowly than I expect.
Yeah, but your Vanguards are also dying slowly. I mean, this fight was a little different. Your Leona died pretty fast, but like if you put it on Poppy, that would have been terrible as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could put you can put Graves up a little bit more if you want, but then he just gets focused on instantly. So I think how your positioning is actually kind of okay. Maybe swap your Leona and your Graves when you. I mean, obviously you want to swap for this round, but like maybe like this.
I see.
Because your Poppy's main tank right now, right? It's a larger area on the left side.
Yeah. And
your Graves would take a small area on the right side, meaning that usually he will still die after Poppy, but people stack corners, so if they stack full right corner, then it's still bad to have him there. So you're not going to be able to make it perfect for any matchup. But...
Yeah. Okay, can't make gold. So I see this, and I think yeah, my usual play here would be to slam an Ionic. But I guess I also have a Rage Blade that I could make, and that's a little more versatile with a Hodge. We
I
obviously
would
have
slam
perfect
Ionic.
Interesting.
I would slam
You
Ionic.
would slam Ionic.
I would not call making Rage Blade Hodge versatile. I would say that's literally Kale.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. So if I'm trying to play flexibly here.
Right. Right. Okay, so this is interesting. You obviously buy Aurelia, yeah.
I want to buy the show, but it's pretty expensive right now.
Yeah, I don't think you can afford the show. I don't think this Aurelia is better than the Fiora right now.
I don't think so, yeah.
If you had like IE stuff, then maybe actually make Aurelia get resets, maybe it'd be different, but
and it's never static shiv, right? Like I don't usually make static shiv.
No, I wouldn't make it.
Okay.
Simply because there's a good chance you want this to be Rage Blade or Last Whisper. Your Redemption is really good.
Yeah. Cool. So I'm gonna choose not to level here, just because we don't have a streak or anything, and I'm pretty poor.
Yeah, you have to eco for a while. You're like, this is yikes.
Real poor.
Yeah.
How could I have avoided being this impoverished?
It would be loose streaking and not leveling this game.
Okay.
I don't think I would have done that, but you could have done that. I think selling Lucian's correct here.
Oh,
putting
really?
Putting in the other Lucian, yeah.
Okay.
Then you just hodge the Fiora instead.
Okay, interesting. And I just put a bow on him or something for cybernetic trait?
That's fine, yeah. Hodge Fiora is really good anyway, so.
Got it. So you give up the Lucian pair to prioritize Econ here?
Right, and it's because of your items on him. You're like, if you had a Lucian 2 here, like it's cool and all, but it's not that good in terms of the items because you really want those items to, like if you get a Kale, you have to pretty much sell it.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. That's prioritizing Econ, I think, a little more highly than I typically do. So that's good insight.
Yeah.
And I think I continue to Econ here, 1 to 2 more rounds. Okay.
I mean, leveling next round is going to cost you 1 interest. You're probably going to level next round, but. Okay. You wanna get away from that Kale. That Kale with the death cap on the left side. That's gonna be bad for you.
Get away from it.
He's moving sides anyway. Right now.
Oh, okay. I should probably go back. That's too late.
Yeah. This guy didn't have his Fiora and his Zaya separated.
Yeah. Well, my Graves is not getting an ult off apparently anyway. Oh well. I think it's because I had my Graves out here because I was repositioning. If I had Graves over here, it would be fine.
He ulted right away. Just he can ult the second time.
Oh, the second time, yeah. But he can get 2 ults if I position him here, probably.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so I have bow, I have tear, I have sword.
Right.
Okay.
What do you think?
I think glove is always the most valuable.
Yes.
I wouldn't mind another Aurelia with a sword.
Yep.
I wouldn't mind. I don't feel like there's an item I highly prioritize making immediately, so I'm just looking for component priority.
Rod is good as well for Ginsu.
Okay.
I think I would take Rod over tier or the RFC for sure.
Okay, so Rod then bow, I think, right?
Yeah.
Interesting. So you don't prioritize Seraphs at all, right?
No, I don't. So the only unit that really wants Seraphs in like a flexible build is Misfortune.
Yeah.
But it's actually a really bad at Misfortune. I'll explain that in a sec. But it's actually like, not really bad. Maybe it's exaggeration. Man, there's like nothing to add here. Probably actually you can put in BMs. That'd be better probably than putting it. You can put in Aurelia and then you put in Shen over the Lucian. That has to be better.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. I mean, you can sell Lucian if you want to, but I wouldn't put the bow on anything. Now you have this awkward random Graves, but oh well.
Would you ever slam the a rod just to
Nope.
activate Cybers? Okay.
Nope.
Because you want to clean Aurelia just in case she carries, right?
Well, you can use Rod on Aurelia because Deathcap Aurelia is fine, but the issue is if you get a Ginsu and you get a Kale, then you might want to run Aurelia with the Kale.
Okay, that makes sense.
Shoot, I was saying something and I forgot. Yeah, fuck. Oh, that's probably better. Or you can run Chrono here with the Ezreal. I would do it, and you can get out of Graves.
No turning back now.
Okay.
So Morello is
He's the only carrier.
right? It's Ezreal.
Yeah.
It's Ezreal, and you can.
I also need someone to be bait for Ezreal because he's actually important now.
For Redemption Shen. Yep.
Yeah. No, I don't like that.
Not Spark. Not the Spark. Yeah, that's fine.
Then
I actually don't think you need a bait for the Ezreal. I don't think he's that important. It is a Morello, but I don't think he's that important.
Okay. Okay, so I guess I sell Graves or I sell a Lucian, right? Because Lucian, I don't really have good items for him anyway.
Right.
And
You'd sell the bow Lucian. The bow Lucian.
Yeah. And I don't think I have good items for Jhin. I mean, technically I have a Rage Blade for Darkstar, but I don't really want to sacrifice interest for Jhin. Or would you have bought that Jhin?
No, I would not have bought it. I would not have bought it.
Okay. How do you feel about this Aurelia positioning right here?
It gets targeted by a unit standing in the nook right in front of it. So I don't like that too much, but if you move it like one to the left, it's fine.
Oh, okay, interesting.
There's a shed in your shop. Yep.
I guess I need to sell the Graves, but...
I think it is reasonable to roll here and also fine to go. It's more reasonable to roll now. I'd probably roll, actually.
Yeah. Well, now I can hit Aurelia too, also.
Yeah, you can hit Aurelia too. You can hit. If you hit a K1, I would stop as well.
There we go.
Okay.
Okay, so I kind of want to get these items off of her, and get something onto her now, but I don't want to.
You actually still don't have very good items for her.
I mean, all I have is a sword. Hodge is okay on her.
You put in Lucian. It's Blaster right now. It's not that good, but it's something.
Yeah. And then Jhin I let go of. I definitely don't need a Shen. I don't need this either, unless I'm running Cybers. But Jhin I let go of.
Yep.
I don't love holding all these items. I could go for GA.
Yeah, I think you do make GA here. It feels really bad to me, but you do probably make it. Because you prefer that being IE.
You know what? This, should have put something on Lucian to activate Cyber.
The issue is if you make this this Ginsu right now, you can't go LW or Deathcap, and so your really is gonna be pretty much bare.
Yeah.
But it does give you the better endgame. You can vest your Lucian. It's like red buff, right?
Oh yeah, you're right. Okay.
You should sell Fiora.
The second Fiora, right? Yeah.
No, the
Fiora.
Fiora
Main Fiora.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And then
put in Zaya. Yeah. Or you can Fiora if you want, but whichever one.
Oh, interesting. And then I give these to Aurelia.
Yep.
You would GA here too?
Yes, I would. This is making your late game a bit worse, but you can't really have the luxury right now.
Yeah. And next turn, do you fast 8 from here? I mean, I could fast 8 with no econ, but
no, it doesn't do anything.
Yeah. I also kind of feel like I need a locket if I'm not going to fast 8 here to survive these next 3 turns, though. Because I don't have good items on my Aurelia.
I would not make a locket.
No.
I would go. Honestly, your best item is probably actually Deathcap Aurelia here. I don't think Last Whisper does anything here.
Okay.
So I think you need to go Deathcap for early here. Currently, your items are more supportive than anything. The Hodge does some damage, but scales of other damage. Like I think you need a Deathcap to actually have any sort of damage.
Yeah, that makes sense. Also, I don't need this. I don't need Poppy back here anymore. She can go move up, and this can be bait. But this is good too. Though.
Playing without any gloves is rough.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going for Rod here. If I can't get Rod, I mean, I can go for a belt for red buff.
It should be glove if you don't get Rod.
No
Okay, you get a
gloves.
Rod.
Okay, so we just immediately.
These aren't
go
the
with that.
absolute worst early items I've ever seen. They're not the best.
I think they're below average, probably. Interesting. So from here, I mean, obviously I'm just econ and I level, but how do I take a first from here? Right? Like I look at this and I'm like, I'm already playing for top 4 with, you know, the amount of health I have and the items I have on my primary carry, and the fact that if I did want to go like Kale or something, now my items are kind of locked up in Aurelia. You know.
But I don't think first is very realistic here.
Yeah.
But I mean, stuff like Aurelia 3 is technically possible, but I don't think it's very realistic. But you can still play. It's frozen. Okay. You can still play a decent Kale a lot of the time. Like if you just get a Rod, you have a decent Kale already. Like just Ginsu's fine. So it kind of depends on the item you get. Like this might end up actually being a 6 cyber game, as much as a 6 cyber isn't very good, but it might end up being a 6 cyber game, and 6 cybers actually I've been seeing do very well recently for some reason. I think they actually do pretty well against the reroll comps, largely. So maybe you could end up just going Echo as a secondary carry, go Shiv, Morello, Echo.
Always primed.
Let me take the lead.
Are there any release out?
One. Just the one, it looks like.
Yeah, he's gonna want more though. Okay.
I don't love this actually.
The Cassidon.
Yeah. There's also some infiltrators that are kind of scary, but not much I can do about that. Oh, nice. Wow, that was such ideal positioning for Aurelia there.
Anytime you roll damage on your really, it's gonna be really strong. But when you roll healing, you're gonna feel so much weaker.
Yeah. Hey, is there a way to tell whether you rolled it besides just watching the health bar? Is there like a?
It's the color around it. Like she's red right now. The color around her is red, so it's damage.
Oh.
And when it's like green or yellow, I'm colorblind, but it's green or yellow, and it's that means it's healing. But it's not actually that reliable because when you swap boards, it swaps again. So.
Do you pre-level here at cost of 1 interest?
Yeah, you do actually.
Okay. I mean, maybe I got the gold anyway, but
you do that when you prioritize legendary. It's very hard, and the fact that you actually like 6 cyber is actually a realistic possibility here means that you do want legendaries really bad, and also you actually can run MF this game.
Yeah.
So. Okay, that's an RFC and Frozen Heart. Okay. Yeah. Kale, okay. You can't really run Jinx.
Yeah.
Let's get cracking.
Don't make. Would not make that.
Make what, the Jareth?
You kept the items on the Ezreal.
Oh shit! Yeah, I shouldn't have. There's another Vi.
Yeah, you want the Vi.
Let's get cracking.
You do want Wukong. You do want Wukong for sure.
Yeah.
So you need RFC. Yep.
Yeah, I need to
this got really awkward actually with the Ezreal.
So I need to sell the Ezreal, get these items off him, put in the.
You need to put. Yeah, you got to put in Lulu. You're probably actually gonna run Mystic this game. You want like Mystic Celestial then?
Okay. So this I don't need. Can't really make gold because I need these in case I run Cybers.
Can't make gold. Maybe you could sell Aurelia if you want. You're not hitting Aurelia 3.
Yeah, that's true.
Cassidon.
Okay.
Okay.
And then
you're not running blasters at all this game, so you can sell that and Lucian. You're just not gonna run 6 cyber actually.
And then
Lulu wants to go in.
this in.
Poppy, yep.
Yeah, we'll go this.
You have 3 Celestial in, so cut that for, I guess it's VR actually. It's like, it does CC.
Yeah, we need to drop
For-
the Lulu then.
For for Zaya. You don't want Zaya in this game.
Oh, we have too many Blade Masters now. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's, I guess it's, yeah, it's Vi actually. It's fine.
Okay. Here I would roll down for the Kale.
Yes. Yes, you roll.
Whatever. Let's just
And sell that. Actually, premature sell.
ready or not.
Actually not playable.
Yeah, I don't actually see how you use this.
The thing I'm looking at right now is actually cutting Wukong, but it's Chrono and Vanguard, but you could then Frozen Heart your Vi, because you actually didn't put item on your Vi. Doesn't matter like a ton, but it matters a little bit.
That seems better.
It's definitely better with 2-star Kale. 1-star Kale, I'm not sure. Nice.
Okay, let's see. What items do I have? I have.
Oh, you won this with healing.
I
Surprise.
don't think I have any spirit components, so no, I'm just looking for a Kale item or an MF item, right?
Yeah, it's I mean it's Kale item for sure. If you like, there's so many Kale items like defensive,
Rage Blade,
Ginsu, Hodge, QSS.
that's
It's
probably best here.
it's QSS, yeah, it's QSS.
If not that, then Rage Blade.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice, now I can corner her. All right, so
Yeah, I think as soon as you hit Kale 2, you drop Wukong, but I don't think you can drop it right now.
Not even to get MF in. You don't think putting
Yeah.
MF1 is worth?
No, I don't.
Oh, interesting.
Ready or not.
MF2 would be better.
Okay.
All right, now I guess you sell it. You have 2 MFs, you want to buy the larger cone, so sure.
Yeah. Okay. And so that.
More guns, more glory.
Do you ever roll to 0 here just because these are contested units? You could just lock shop or.
Nope.
Okay.
If you natural, you just end up wasting gold. So. You need to be scouting where to put your Cassidon, because like you could be disarming this right now.
Yeah.
Oh, you actually still did.
You should be extreme left or right all times.
Pretty much.
Okay, so Boom, Dotar, 300, Sexy Donald, Rosy, 2 choose.
That guy just did a lot of damage. Cassidon.
Okay, so it looks like over here.
You can't lose this round, so I would roll to 0 here, and I would actually sell MF if I hit kill. Oh, there's Cassidon though. Okay.
I am this world's reckoning.
Okay, so this guy needs to move over to the right for. Actually,
Watch out for that. Watch out for his shroud. Don't let your kill get shrouded.
Mhm.
MF getting shrouded doesn't actually matter, but your kill getting shrouded is a big deal.
Oh, actually, you know what? I think we're fine here.
You're fine. Oh wait, you're not fine.
Alive, but I'm not fine. One
Yeah,
more?
but this round is super important. Because now you're 1 life.
Yeah.
That guy's not dead.
Okay, so 2 choose, Donald, Dotar, Gooncatcher, Grillsy. So I want my Cassidon to be over here. I want my
Yeah,
Cassidon to be here too.
Yeah, if you can disarm that, Zaya might win the round.
Yeah. I expect he's gonna move though. Let me act like I'm not gonna do that.
Right.
And then I guess this is just MF, so she maybe gets an ult off more quickly. These Runons.
Sure, it's reasonable. All right, rolling for Kassadin and MF, and MF upgrades.
Is that even worth at this point?
You take any upgrade you can get right now.
Yeah. Okay.
Updating plugins.
All right. So,
Does it do that much? Probably not.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, so Kassadin disarmed the Zaya. That's fine. I'd put Vi on the far left.
On the all the way on the left.
Right.
Okay. That's not good stuff. Oh, okay. Worked out.
Dodged. That sucks. You actually won this fight. That didn't dodge. Didn't happen.
Yeah. Rip.
Okay. The game was brutal.
We'll take a fifth on bot items, but yeah.
Let me show the VOD. So I'm gonna share screen.
Okay.
See my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so item-wise, I'm someone that tries to play in a way, if I'm physically able to, in that I'm not making items that commit me to a specific carry until I have that carry.
Yep.
The time where I go away from that is games where I'm going to die and thus I don't have a choice. In terms of like Ginsu, I will make Ginsu on 2-1 because it's such a large amount of rounds. And like until I will find forecasts, and it's such a large amount of rounds where it's helping me. But like say on stage 3-1, where we had the option I think to make Ginsu this game on 3-1.
Mm-hmm.
You are going to get more information about what you are playing this game very, very soon. With like literally in stage 3, you're going to find like probably 4 or 5 forecasts, and that can help you determine what items you want to make, what items you want to take from carousel, etc. While if you just make the Ginsu, like you really want to play Kalen. If you're not, you're going to have something mediocre. You can play, Ginsu Jinx and not lose the game, but it's definitely not what we'd prefer to have.
Mm-hmm.
So when it gets to stage 3-1, I get a lot more iffy about slamming a Ginsu, but on 2-1, I slam Ginsu very often, simply because it's such a large amount of power for so many rounds.
Mm-hmm.
So items like Morello, I don't think Morello commits you to very much. Is probably better in a Kale comp than in most comps, but you can usually find a way to use a Morello.
Mm-hmm.
It like in most comps. If you, obviously Vel'Koz comp uses it well, but you can put it on if you're playing Brawler Blaster. You can put it on an MF. It's not that bad. It's just not. It's a item that is not optimal whatsoever, but it's also not it's not a bad item in most comps. Sure. It'll be your anti-heal item. You just won't, if you're running Brawler Blaster, you won't run a red buff, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I assume you'd agree here that red buff is a lot better, but
yeah, of course.
Oh well.
So when you're going for items on early carousel, do you usually prioritize just quality of component or what it can make you immediately?
It depends on the situation.
Okay.
So in this scenario, like in this carousel, I was saying glove. When we didn't get the glove, but I would have talked about it more. I would make an IE, and I think IE is. So you have a lot of different opinions on IE. My opinion on IE is if you are playing a flexible style, it's like the most flexible item of all time because it goes on. There actually isn't a carry besides Vel'Koz that can't use it well. Even Kale with Valkyrie uses it fine. We like Pult is someone that puts random freaking items on Kale all the time. But just in general with Valkyrie, like IE is not that bad. It's obviously great in a relay. It's obviously great on Jinx, and it's great on Jhin. But it's just it's an item that goes on literally everything, and I feel similarly about Lost Whisper. I think Lost Whisper is a great item to slam if he had Lost Whisper, and like if you had sword instead of or bow instead of sword, and you got glove from this carousel, I'd be making Lost Whisper.
Makes sense. Yep.
So I'm just very happy slamming items like that.
Mhm.
Again, if my item specifically makes me commit to a singular carry, I probably don't want to make it. Because I think that removes agency from myself, if that makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense. So I shouldn't have slammed this tier on Lucian for sure. What about slamming a sword on him though? Which is what I thought I should have done, but maybe you have a different opinion.
Because I think it's fine. Okay. It does punish you in the scenario you want to run cybers, but I think that's okay. I think slamming a sword actually gives quite a bit of power, and if you were to get something like an Infinity Edge, it'd probably go on Lucian anyway. So, or same with, and definitely Deathblade. So
yeah.
So yeah, so this is the start of the game where if we wanted to, we could not level here, and we wouldn't make eco this round, but next round we make eco, and then we are playing way more greedy and getting way more money, and then we have less of the issue of in the late game in stage 3 we are broke as hell. So we'll have less of that problem if we just decide to, okay, we sit here and make eco next round. I don't think that is necessarily the right play. I think who you ask will differ on that of what the right play here is. If you had lost this round, I definitely wouldn't have leveled. But by winning the round, I think leveling is totally reasonable here. It is a big upgrade. Adding Vanguard with the current 2 Vanguard is really, really strong. So I think that is it's a play that I would do, and I think people would also differ on it. So I think if you go either way for it, it's fine.
So ignoring the fact that Lucian is not a great Shoujins user, do you ever slam Shoujins early?
No.
Interesting. Okay.
You do?
No, I don't. But I remember when I was talking to Sox, he was like, maybe I'm misinterpreting him, to be fair, but he thinks Shoujins is quite versatile. Like Flash can use it, MF can use it, etc. It's just not an item that I'm good at fitting into comps outside of comps that are using like MF.
I think it's a very awkward item until the late game.
Yeah, that's what it feels like to me.
Obviously Lulu and MF are amazing Shoujin ulters. Oh, this is gonna talk about was Seraph MF. I think Seraph on MF is something that people have done for a long time, and I think it's quite a waste of tiers. I mean, it is. We never ever value components even close to as much as we value the actual full item. Like, we don't put redemption on Misfortunes. We don't do that for the tier. But when people make Seraph on Misfortune, they're saying I simply want the 2 components, and they're saying they're okay with that. But the completed item, like the effect of the completed item is almost always the strongest part of the item. So it doesn't make very much sense that we go for the Seraphs. But look at Shoujin. Shoujin after Misfortune's ult, every auto attack that Shoujin gives is 31 mana. Every auto attack, and it's more from Blaster procs. So Seraph gives 20 period after the after the ult. It gives it 20 mana. The effect of Seraph. So I think that Seraph MF is something you do when you have 2 tiers and can't make anything else. But I don't think that it's something you should ever like. I really want a Seraphs from this carousel, so I'm gonna go for a Seraphs because then I can put in Misfortune. I don't think that is ever a good idea. It should be like, I guess I'm making a Seraphs rather than I really want a Seraphs from Misfortune. I like Shoujin MF usually casts multiple times, and if it doesn't cast multiple times, it's because probably the fight was so one-sided one way or the other that it probably whatever you made wouldn't have mattered.
I guess the logic, and I see the wisdom in what you're saying. I'm not disagreeing, but I think the logic for Ceres is just, well, MS ult is still a high impact that if I can just get one ult off quickly, I'm more likely to win a fight. That's sort of the rationale. But you're saying, generally speaking,
yeah, I think.
I mean, it's not a reason to prioritize Ceres, but I mean that's a reason why if I have Ceres, I put it on her.
Exactly. I think it's reasonable. I think also like. Very often, if I have 2 tiers and I'm putting both on MF and I have other components, it usually is going to want to be those other components on the MF. But I think the fact that Redemption and Frozen Heart are the best examples to me is the fact that we make these items, we don't put them in Misfortune, thus we should value the components less than we are with Seraph. Because if it feels very dumb to put Redemption and Frozen Heart on Misfortune,
Of course.
and thus if we're going for a Seraph, then we're just saying that 2 tiers is better, which means we should be putting Frozen Heart Redemption on Misfortune. Does that make sense? Like.
Yeah.
There are times, obviously, where the having 2 tiers on your Misfortune will end up making your Misfortune ult at just the right moment where it ends up changing the fight. But majority of fights won't be that way. It's about it's between 1 and 2 seconds, depending difference in the fight, depending on if your MF took any damage or not, and how much, because she's a 1.0 attack speed is 15 mana. And so it has 1 to 2 seconds is a decent deal, but I don't think it's to the point where the majority of fights it's making a large impact.
Makes sense.
Oftentimes in Misfortune fights, what will happen is Misfortune will ult, and like their Misfortune will also ult, and then it's like 2 units versus 2 units, or 1 unit versus 2 units, or whatever. And then having this something like a Shojin is very, very, very valuable, because I'm sure you've had the scenario where the Jinx at 20% health kills the Misfortune at 100% health, right? Because Misfortune that isn't ulting does nothing, because we don't give her AD items. I think that is a very common occurrence where it's just like Misfortune is the last unit alive, and having a Shojin on her can do amazing work.
For sure.
But I do not make Shojin in the early game simply because I feel awkward with it in the mid game.
Yeah. I don't think there's a lot of great.
You can't put it on Graves. It's not bad on Graves, actually. But I wouldn't say. Also, I value swords pretty highly.
Yeah, same.
Okay. Moving forward. Okay, so we were going for glove here. We end up getting Negatron, right? Oh yeah, we took the 1 cost, but I would take belt here if you didn't already have a anti-heal component or anti-heal item. You already had Morello. If you didn't have Morello, I would take belt because red buff. But you already have Morello, so I go for Negatron. Again, I explained the whole thing about tier. Seraphs. I don't think there's much ways to use Seraphs outside of that. You can put Seraphs on Aurelia, but Seraphs Aurelia is kind of a multiplier for her other items rather than a good item on its own.
Yeah.
And so if you don't have an IE or anything, and if you go Seraph Hodge, a lot of them just gonna be healing herself. So yeah, I go Negatron. I think Negatron in a game where you have a strong front line is pretty solid simply because of Spark, and you do. Because you're running Vanguards probably for a while, the Poppy too. Also, you do have a bit of a cyber setup right now. Like 3 cyber this game is totally reasonable to expect to have in the late game, and putting stuff like a Spark on a Vi is great, or even Zephyr for your other cybers.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even think we're getting that much value out of Blaster here, so probably I should have run cybers here, right? Because we don't have like an item that really is great with Blaster. We just have a Hodge.
It's a pretty high DPS increase. I think it's like 40% or something, either 40 or 60% DPS increase in your Lucian. Honestly, it'd probably be a math problem.
Because it's relative to the 35 AD,
right?
350 health.
I think the fact that would force you to sell a Graves pair means that I wouldn't do it.
Okay. That makes sense too.
Here, like you already leveled earlier, and there's no way we don't level again to add this stuff again unless we want to sell out a Blaster. But it's a I think usually when you level on 2-2, you're kind of committing to leveling on 2-5, unless you're having such a strong board they're gonna win anyway, or you just don't have anything to add.
For sure. So on the point about selling the Grace pair, so at this point, right, we could play Cybers with Vi. Right, and let's ignore the fact that the tier is locked on Lucian. Let's say the tier wasn't locked on Lucian, so we could have items to put on both Fiora and Leona. Actually, if I guess the question is, at the point where you hit the 2-star Leona and the 2-star Fiora, and you have a Vi, and you have a 2-star Poppy, do you not just say, okay, fuck it, even if we hit the Graves, we can't play it at 5. Let's just sell the Graves, distribute these items on the Cybers, and play that?
Wait, I'm sorry. What? I missed the point. Why can you run Graves at 5?
So because we want to run. Oh, I guess you don't need the Vi. I just consider Vi a pretty strong unit. But I guess that's not worth losing Blaster. But I guess the
I
question
don't
is,
think I'd prefer to run 4 Cyber. No, that would, like the Vi, I do think Vi is really strong.
yeah. But even if it's selling, let's say, I guess the question is it worth freeing up your components here to get Cybers and be strong now versus holding out for the Graves too?
You're talking about on these rounds, right?
Yeah.
I think it's pretty close in general what you're doing. You hit the Vi on this round anyway, but the person you're Morelloing is a Vi, which is not great. I think if you are selling the Graves and swapping your components, I think it might make you slightly stronger, because it would only be on, go back to it. It would only be on this round that you did it, right? Because you hit the Vi here. That's the only person you can actually Morello. You're not going to Morello a Poppy, probably. Can't Morello Leona. So you're Morelloing Vi. So you have to do it on this round after you already lost a round. I don't think it even makes you that much stronger in general. I think it is a slight increase in power because Vi is such a good unit. But I think that the damage that you are getting from Blaster is pretty significant, actually, and from constant Morello proc. Well, Vi will give 1 Morello.
Got it. Makes sense.
Yeah, I think Blaster is there's math included in this, but I think Blaster's DPS increase is probably often usually higher than the Cyber DPS increase. Again, until you hit this Fiora 2, and you hit the Fiora 2, like it's a big deal to have Cyber in, but yeah. I do think you are probably slightly stronger with Cybers on this round. Not in this round, but in this round.
Yeah.
With the Vi, not with the Fiora. But again, there's the trade-off of selling the Graves. So. I also don't like putting items on Vi that I can't easily that aren't actually just good Vi items, right?
Yeah.
Because Vi is something you often keep like the whole game.
So can we talk about the rationale for the S shape again? It's basically you want these 3 tanks to split aggro in the front, and you want someone else to act as bait. That's why you do that instead of backlining everyone, right? Because you don't want any.
So the whole point of doing the actual S here is the fact that you are is that you want this to be focused less than your Leona and your Poppy. So effectively, what you are doing here is you are making Leona and Poppy your primary tanks, right? The other, if you wanted to go full back row all against the line, what you'd probably want to do is have it be like Poppy, Fiora, Leona if you go full backline, and then Leona will end up tanking like this area. You can see my cursor, right?
Yep.
Leona will end up taking like this area, Fiora will end up taking like this area, and Poppy will end up taking this area. And so you'd be able to split aggro in that scenario. If you put Leona over if you put like Poppy Leona, then Leona is tanking almost nothing, and it's whoever would be standing here be tanking quite a bit.
Okay.
So the whole thought process is by putting Leona here and up front, you have your vanguards with their incredibly high armor tanking the vast majority of the field, because you don't actually want Fiora taking almost any. You don't actually want Fiora taking this spot.
Yeah.
You'd much prefer the vanguards to tank those spots completely. So that makes sense of.
Yep, that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah. So we should have.
I always envision the when I put a front line, I'm always envisioning myself splitting up the field into blocks. So like Poppy currently has this block. That's how I always think of my frontline positioning. Fiora currently is tanking here. Maybe Leona's tanking like here, but yeah. Graves is tanking directly in front of him. So that's how anytime I put frontliners in, I'm always thinking that's how I'm always thinking of it. So if I have like an incredibly tanky unit, And again, this is for general positioning. When you scout, a lot of things change. But for general positioning, every time I have like a really tanky unit, say I have like Titan's Resolve, Bramble, Poppy 3, right? And all I want is this thing to tank all the damage. Then maybe I have everything pushed like really hard here and have Poppy right here, and then Poppy tanks all of this area. Again, I'm creating a block where she is tanking.
Makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, like I'm trying to. I guess a lot of I think I overly focus on infiltrators and blitzcranks early, but for instance, that fight, right? The Kazakhs ended up focusing on Lucian.
Yeah, that's true.
What I'm trying to do is prevent that, right? When I see like 2 or more infiltrator players,
I think so. That's where when there are a lot of infils, that's where the putting a unit like back here works a lot better, right? Put Lucian here, put like Fiora, Graves, or Leona, whatever here. It just hurts your positioning. Like if you don't have, especially your vanguards up front, it hurts your positioning so much against them. I wouldn't mind that much putting Fiora back there. That's not that bad. But putting your vanguards back there, it just like I think it hurts your it focuses your aggro so much on one unit, on one actual tanky unit, as in Poppy.
Yeah.
That I think that's a negative. It'll reach your Lucian quite a lot faster. I think mostly what you are doing in the early game when it comes to infiltrators is scouting and swapping sides a lot.
Yeah.
I think that's what you like the best way to deal with them. The S here, where you're pushed up a little bit, I think does a little bit better against infiltrators, because oftentimes the infiltrator will jump and then walk to like these units. That's a little bit different. If it's all the way if it's literally on your side, then it gets on your Lucian. But if it's over towards the middle, then it will jump more on these units. While in this scenario, like say they have their units here, and the infiltrator jumps here, Lucian's walking this way into the infiltrator. So I tend to do this positioning quite a bit.
Okay. With them all back row and second to back row specifically.
Are you calling front row, back row? Or sorry, are you calling this front to back row?
Sorry. So where they are right now, as opposed to moving them all forward.
Yeah, I typically have my units push forward.
Okay.
But I don't have a convincing reason of why I would prefer these 2 rows compared to these 2 rows, except for that one little thing about the middle infiltrators. But usually at the high levels, people aren't putting infiltrators in the middle anyway. They're putting them on the sides, depending on scouting. So.
Yeah. Okay.
Honestly, I think you should be moving your units from side to side pretty much nonstop. Yeah. I know what Milk does. Milk puts all of his units in the very center, and then last second just randomly picks a side which he goes to.
Yeah. It's very frustrating to play against, actually.
Yeah.
I should probably do that.
Okay. I talked about the Ginsu. I don't like how it pigeonholes you as much as I think Ionic Spark is just a solid item in the early game.
Yep.
So it's also not bad in the late game, but it's especially in the early game it does a lot. And you just not get you got 0 gloves this game, right?
Yeah, no gloves.
Makes playing anything using AD really difficult. This game was pretty easy for you, honestly, if you got Kales. But actually, yeah, that's actually a good thing to bring up. If you made a Ginsu this game, you probably just lost like really hard, because you didn't hit Kale for a very long time. You did it on 5-1, I think.
Yeah.
So
no good holder.
Yeah, you'd have been in really bad shape. I think you did way better this game, playing flexibly rather than just being like, I play Kale this game because I have Hodge and I have Ginsu components. Your endgame comp would have been stronger with Kale, but I don't think you would have even made it there. So. I don't think it depends. It depends on scouting, but actually, we talked about this, didn't we? About this Graves positioning. Okay,
Yeah,
we talked about this.
That's a mistake.
Okay. So, what's your thoughts on rolling on 7 in general? I mean, this game as well, but in general, mostly.
So I usually, I mean, my bias is to go fast 8, but in general, what I like to do is roll at 7 until I just feel strong. So it's a combination of, obviously if I had a 4 cost 2 star that's strong, but usually it's something more like a cast 2 or Jace 2 or something like that, and then I let that carry me to 8.
Yep.
And if I roll there, I mean, if I'm lucky, then I don't have to fast. I can still fast 8, but oftentimes it just means I have to coast at 7 with a strong board until 5-1.
Yeah. So, I oftentimes am rolling at 7. I'm rolling to get stronger, of course, but I'm also rolling oftentimes for direction because, again, I don't know which forecast I'm going to find. You are often in a spot on 4-1 where you are sitting, where you have a bunch of items, because that's like the biggest creep round in the game, that one and the stage 5 one. And thus, you're sitting a lot of items and you need to know what to make. And again, I want to know what forecast I'm running this game. And so we're rolling here to see, can we make a Ginsu is a big part of it. If we hit a Kale, okay, sweet, we can make a Ginsu. If we don't hit a Kale, like, I guess we're making GA and then going for Last Whisper or Death Cap, because we have 2 Aurelias. So we'll go Last Whisper, Death Cap from Carousel. But if we don't hit it, if we don't have a Kale, then our items are going to be really bad if we make Death Cap, or if we make Ginsu here, because we have literally no real damage on our Aurelia. Our Aurelia items at that point are GA and Hodge. That's not damage.
Got it. Yeah, that's actually really interesting, thinking about rolling for for direction. So let's say you're win streaking really hard, right? Let's say you're like 90 plus HP. Do you still roll for direction, or you just say, you know, it was to save all of our gold and roll down?
I save it.
3?
Okay. I save it, but I wouldn't slam an item.
Okay.
I would sit on items just, you know, I would accept that I'm gonna have 2 rounds that are gonna be rough, and then I'm gonna roll on 4-3, and then I'll have my direction. I'll delay that because I get my better odds and I get my legendaries.
Yeah, makes sense.
Sorry, a large part of this was rolling for direction. What?
I was saying, sorry, I know the questions are like slowing down.
No. Ask everything.
Yeah. Cool.
Also, I want to note, if we found a Kale here, I would be very hesitant about slamming this GA. GA it'd be nice on specifically Kale. Ginsu GA Hodge Kale is like one of the best item combinations. Actually, there's like a mixture of item combinations, right? When you have RFC, then you tend to want QSS a lot more, that kind of thing. But there's a lot of different item combinations that actually want it for best. But the thing is, you actually have a Morello as well, and which means that you're probably putting Morello on the Kale, and so your items on Kale are Hodge, Morello, and Ginsu. And then the GA goes on Aurelia, and you hate your life because just simply GA Aurelia is not good. And thus, if I hit a Kale, it'd actually make Bramble best. And I would just go for Deathblade or IE from the Carousel. And then if I don't get one of those, then I guess I'm playing. I'm getting it. Sorry, did I say GA? I meant to say IE. If from Carousel, if I don't get Deathblade or IE, then I guess I'm taking a GA anyway. But
got it.
Yeah,
makes sense.
Or Frozen Heart. Actually, I just noticed the tier. I forgot about the tier, but Frozen Heart would be reasonable to make as well, if you wanted to make that instead of the Bramble Vest. Okay, so pull down, stop at Aurelia 2. I think you would. I have to imagine you'd stop there as well. And yeah, we should have sold this. I think it's still here though, right? Yeah, cool. We are. I think this is where you started asking me, like, how can we win this game? And yeah, the answer is you probably can't.
Not with these items.
The stage 4-1 pretty much told us that. Again, if we had a glove, this game is a lot different. If we had just one glove, then we instead of a GA, we would have made Infinity Edge, and then our items are way better. But that's not the game. So we're not playing this game reverse. We're trying to get top 4 for sure.
Makes sense.
And honestly, if You can absolutely get first. Like I coached Raditz in a game where we rolled like 30 gold to level 6, and we got first that game. We were playing like flex, we weren't playing like a reroll comp. We were dying really hard, and we rolled a bunch of 6, and we got first that game. You can definitely win games rolling at 6 or 7 or whatever, but people that roll at 8 or people that have the luxury of rolling at 8 are going to be in a much better shape for getting first than you.
Makes sense.
I mean, it's depends on the person. I'm not personally someone that likes playing first or 8. I think first or 8th. I think a lot of times what people say when they say they're playing first or 8th is they're playing in a way where they have less agency, because they're being like, I'm going
I need
level
to hit
8.
this unit.
I'm going level or going level. Usually it's I'm going fast 9 and hoping I hit exactly my gangplank 2. So I think a lot of the times you're actually like, you had decisions leading up to that point. At that point, you're like, okay, this is the rest of my game plan, and I hope it works. And I tend to avoid stuff like that. Okay. Oh yeah. Not leveling here. You asked about it. Leveling here it gives us no opportunity at all to hit like Kale 2. It gives us a very low chance of hitting Echo. And we just don't add very much. Like what we would be able to do here is level, maybe roll and hit Celestial, and that would be a decent increase in power. But we should expect to be strong enough at this point to at least not lose rounds terribly.
Yeah.
And if we're losing rounds terribly, then we're not going to change anything by leveling anyway.
Sure. Yeah, we're not gonna have enough. So basically, the logic is, hey, we're not gonna have enough gold tech, so you take advantage of being 8. So we might as well save our gold. We'll take maybe 10 HP worth of losses and then have gold later.
Yep. Okay. Yep. Exactly. Oh, I didn't realize that's what happened. That was so unfortunate. Oh, you won this anyway. Never mind. But yeah. So, did you know about Death Cap really being good? A lot of people don't know that. But...
Yeah, Death Cap's good.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it does on average as a singular item. It scales. I use scales better with itself, but as a singular item, Death Cap does on average more damage per ult than Infinity Edge.
Oh, I did not know that.
They're very, 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 very slightly, FYI. They're very close.
Yeah.
The reason I use better is because of auto attacks, but yeah, Death Cap does slightly more damage on average. I'm starting to think that on Aurelia, it might be best to go back to the stacking Infinity Edges way of playing rather than making Last Whisper.
I mean, there's not that many people building Bramble anymore, right?
So... Yeah, there's not many Brambles, not many Vanguards. There's some Vanguards still, but not a ton. There's a Bramble Vanguard. Okay. There's also the option to all in on 4/6 here. We'd have a decent amount of gold to roll with, but again, we're actually just kind of doing okay here. We're actually not weak since we got the Death Cap. We were pretty weak without the Death Cap, honestly, but with the Death Cap, we're quite strong. A lot of times it just depends on whether we roll damage or not, but a lot of time we are quite strong. And again, we like if you think about what you should expect to hit with 20 gold or 30 gold even, it's really not much. I think it's reasonable to expect to hit like a Kale or 2, but you're never hitting Kale 2. It's not reasonable to hit an Echo in that gold either because you're buying units. I think with legendaries, if you want to hit the exact legendary that you want, it's about 25 gold to roll. But that's 25 gold of rolling.
Yeah.
And people, I don't think, realize how much gold they actually roll. It's very low. People, you roll people say like, I rolled 100 gold, and it's like you rolled nowhere close to 100 gold. Unless you're playing a reroll comp, you rolled nowhere close to that. I did this one time. Kurum was talking about how much gold he rolled in a game. He's like rolling so much, and he rolled like 80 gold or something. And I went back and looked, and he had spent I think it was 40 gold total, or it was maybe even less than that on rolling that whole game. You spend so little gold rolling compared to everything else. Your comp is probably more expensive than the gold you spent rolling. Not necessarily, but probably. You definitely spent more money leveling than rolling in most comps.
For sure. So interesting. Yeah. So you think there's a world where, okay, so let's say I don't hit Death Cap. At this health, you might consider 4/6 all in?
If you were, if you had like, I do not think I would not saying I would level here, but if you had like maybe 10 more gold, I'd consider it. If you had 10 more gold, I think it'd be very reasonable. Because every round at this point is a big deal, and you are dealing damage to people as well. And again, you're playing top 4. That is a incredibly top 4 play. FY, you are never getting like top 2 with that.
Yeah, makes sense. Interesting.
But there are, I would say, 1 in every like 15 games or so I all in on 4-6. Like it's not likely, but it's not. Honestly, it's probably less than that. It's probably like 1 every 25. But okay, we are when we level up and roll down to 5-1, we are committed to one thing about our composition. We are running Aurelia, and thus we're probably running 3 Cyber. But that's the only thing we're actually committed to in our composition, and thus we should be looking for another damage source, hopefully Kale, because if it's not Kale, then our items are really going to suck. And also, some kind of solid frontline that can be a Cho 2 or a Wukong 2 to go with our Vi or Leona. And that can be, I guess we already had Shen, but you oftentimes like some of the Blade Masters are frontline as well. And also stuff like Misfortune, we can run 6 Cyber if we hit that. I guess that'd be the other frontline option is 6 Cyber. Stuff like Cassidy, obviously. So the only thing we're really committed to at this point is the fact that we are running Aurelia, and we're probably running 3 Cyber and thus 3 Blade Master as well. But everything's for everything away from that. So we pretty much have like 4 units we're committed to. Everything away from that is completely open depending on what we roll.
So, one thing I'm trying to work on is just my speed of decision making in the late stages of the game, because I often find that I have like a pretty locked bench and board, and you have to quickly make decisions about what you're going to keep versus sell. So I like this whole paradigm of, okay, well, I have my Aurelia, so I'm committed to cyber, like having at least 3 cybernetic. But
so as soon as you saw,
how do you quickly prioritize what you're going to be selling and keeping?
So a lot of it comes down like, so a lot of it comes down to items. Like if you look at, it comes down to items, it comes down to pairs, and it comes down to other units. You have like the fact that you have a Leona 2 and you have no Vise, mean you're going to prioritize Wukong over Cho'Gath, right? And if you look at your items, like you don't have any items for Lucian or blasters in general, and thus this Lucian wants to be replaced by Vi. If you hit Vi, then the Lucian can get replaced. So it's a lot about items in that way, and it's a lot about the other units you have. Again, we're going to prioritize Cho'Gath over Wukong, Wukong over Cho'Gath because we don't have Vi, but we have Leona. If we hit Vi, we're gonna start prioritizing Vi because we want Lucian out because we don't have blaster items.
Makes sense. Okay,
let's make sure that.
I think I should verbalize that to myself before I roll to help.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely do that. Oh, we do have a Vi now, but yeah, that that was unfortunate, but it's okay. It's okay. As soon as we hit Lulu, we buy Lulu because Celestial is great in any comp running Aurelia or Kale. As soon as you hit Lulu, now you can be like, okay, now maybe I can fit Mystic. But what are you not running, right? Are you ever running a Blitzcrank? No, you're not. Blitzcrank is going to be something where you're running 4 Brawler and you're not running that.
Yeah.
Why you're not running 4 Brawler? Because you want to run Cybernetics and you want to run Blade Masters.
Can't fit. Yeah.
And you already have like stuff like Leona 2, like so, and you don't have Vi, etc. And the rest of the game was pretty much just positioning. There's actually not much to go over. Or the rest, positioning was fine mostly. Probably want whenever. So oftentimes I like to have. It depends on who I'm against, right? If I'm against a Xayah player, I always want Shen being like hard focused by the Xayah. But in a lot of matchups, I want Shen being secondary tank. Like kind of like Ivy. Right now, I'd call him secondary tank. As long as you move Cass, I'd say Wukong is then main tanking, and same with Leona, and then Shen is secondary. Because oftentimes he will, like against Mana Reavers, he oftentimes just not cast. Against Aurelia especially, it's really good for him to be secondary. But against Xayah, you want to be primary.
Okay.
But when he has a tier, I always primary him.
Okay. So basically, you want to protect him long enough for him to get his ult off.
Right, exactly. And yeah, when he has a tier, it's really easy for him to ult, and thus I'll just I want him to be focused.
Makes sense.
Yeah. I would take a minute. So you're talking about talking to yourself. I would take a minute. People have a let me back up for a sec. People have a habit of focusing on watching the fight too much that is going on. I would make a habit of when you are in a fight to look at your composition and see what you can take out and what you can put in.
For sure.
Because that will help your roll down. I think if you reason through this round and you think about what you can do, like you have a Lulu thing about Mystic, you actually figure out that you actually can't run Mystic. It just take a while, but you actually can't. But you didn't go for it anyway. But just like in general, things like that, realizations like that will help your speed in the turns later on.
But here, couldn't we have dropped Zaya for Mystic?
Yeah, for like a turn, but
Yeah.
this will end up being your composition. And then we can type this for Valkyrie as an option. But you most likely will not run Mystic. Oftentimes with Mystic, how I view it is a lot of matchups it's worthless. Against Void and against like Zaya stuff, it's worthless. And thus, Mystic is something, if I'm running it for only certain matchups, I want to be a lot higher health when I'm running it if I'm sacrificing other units for it. Because if I'm low health, then I'm oftentimes going to make myself in a worse spot for specific matchups, and I can't lose like any matchup. So I need to be strong enough in general against some matchups, and then have the Mystic to beat other. Sorry.
Yeah, that makes sense. I got
a saying. Okay, I could not speak for a second. But
I got you.
That's oftentimes how I view Mystic. But it, stuff depends, right? Because maybe you can already beat the Zaya player because you're Shen, casted in, he has enough QSS, and you're like, okay, I beat this guy regardless. But this guy right here who has Death Cap Kale, okay, I actually need Mystic for this guy to have any chance. Thus I should run Mystic. So it depends, but oftentimes I will lean towards not going through the Mystic because of that, when I'm at low health, because of that reason. High health, I'm more willing to. Okay, I think that's actually good for the VOD review.
Cool. Hey guys, I hope you liked the video. My name is thatsPRIMAL, and this is Uzi, and we are on a journey to become a professional gamer. Yes, both of us. And that means a combination of making content, streaming, and competing in tournaments. So if you like the video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It really, really does help us on our journey to make this stream a reality. And we're going to be putting out content on a regular basis that's designed to help you get better at teamfight tactics. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you next time.